I was hanging out with the homies like 83, 84, it's about 84. I finally got jumped in, you know what I mean? The neighborhood right there.
Where at?
I was at 27th Street, right there in the hood, and 27th in Vermont, right there at the elementary school.
Vermont Avenue?
Yeah, Simon, at elementary school.
What year did you catch the case that sent you to YA?
Oh, that was in 1986, like September. Yeah, I ended up, just going away for a while.
You did juvenile life for that, right?
Simon, they gave me a 17 to life, and when I went to YA, luckily I got a YA number instead of an M number, so they could have they were just holding me till I was turned 25.
How was it? How was it stepping in YA, being from the age?
Well, being from the age, you got a lot of enemies. You know what I mean? So everywhere you went, you know what I mean. Even when I was in juvenile hall, I mean, I was doing nothing but fighting fools. I got kicked out of juvenile hall. I got sent to the county jail when I was 16. But yeah, I mean, that was part of the program, automatic. Just enemigos everywhere. So I mean, it was no rest period, man. You just had to go in there. And then you get that mentality. They tell you about YA, They say you go to YA, man. You better put up or shut up. You know what I mean? You got to put in work and improve yourself. You know what I mean? So yeah, I went in there with that mentality and started getting down with a lot of fools. And I mean,
You got that harpies on your stomach in YA?
Yeah, in YTS. That's when I got to YTS, like in 89, 90.
All right, and then when you were in there, like 89, did you start hearing about how it was already getting active as fuck in the streets, and homies were like, all this gang banging was going on? A lot of homies were getting killed.
A lot of homies dying. My carnal got shot during that time when I was locked up. My carnal got shot. He almost died. He got shot right there on 37th Street. And I was like, fuck, I wish I was out there,
And then in those times, ya habías oído de Dead End, porque estaba harpies, ¿verdad?
Yeah.
And then this new generation from the hood called Dead End. You heard about that?
Yeah.
Y luego cuando empezaron a llegar a YA, did you run into them?
Dead End, there wasn't a lot of homies from Dead End in there like that.
At that time?
I remember Dead End when we was at the park, we used to play football with them. We used to let them play football, so they used to call us in there to play with them.
Yeah.
And it was fun, just hit fools, and tackle them, whatever. But Dead End harpies Dead End. So
yeah.
So I mean,
¿Cuál elementary you went to?
Norwood.
In junior high?
In junior high, un chingo.
Which ones?
Frost got kicked out. For whatever reason, our area, I don't know, because of the hood, or they would just ship us out to the valley. It was like too hectic or dangerous to go to the local school. It was too many killings or shit, People getting jumped, killed, going to school, coming out of school. Then when John Adams got kicked out, and then they sent me back to the valley, over there in Conejo, Lawrence Middle School.
And what about high school?
I went to Chatsworth. They didn't want me in Kennedy. And after that Chatsworth, but I was in and out of juvenile hall, so I would go to school. In jail, yeah, busted.
Planton was out there because I went to John Adams. I went to John Adams because I kicked out of Full Shade, and I estaba en las primeras flats in Planton. I got down with a couple fools in Planton there, Planton. I got jumped by primera flats, like 6 fools jumped me after school.
Yeah.
I used to go to the fucking school with the sweater with harpies in the back, you know what I mean? And,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Como que me valía madre, era el barrio de ellos, So these fools, primera flat. So these fools said, I remember these fools. I remember some dude with freckles, I remember him because he had freckles. He was distinctive look, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he was a white-looking dude with freckles all over his face.
Yeah, from PF.
Who the fuck is this, Like later on in life, you know what I mean? I started, you talk to homies and shit from their neighborhood. It was a dude Smiley, Smiley from Primera Flats. He was one of the dudes that jumped me, But they didn't really do shit. I got a knot in my forehead and shit.
Y antes el barrio, was it the same, like, the only, like, really... It's always been the same, huh? It's always been the same, huh? From like Washington to King or whatever.
Washington and King and
Figueroa to Normandy.
Figueroa to Normandy. Yeah.
It's always been the same.
Yeah, it's kind of big, you know.
Yeah, it's a
Like
fucking
I
big
say,
neighborhood.
yeah, you don't realize that, but yeah, it's big. It's Florida, güey.
That's why everybody was like just roaming around.
Roaming around, luego también hay veces te meten ahí unos morridos que andan tagging or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, or maybe they'd be from undercovers and everything. They don't want to say different neighborhood or whatever,
Yeah.
but because it's so big, I mean, you can't really monitor everything that's going on and shit. You know?
The kid, when I was young, we used to live in Estrella first, and then they sold that apartment we used to live in, so my mom was gonna move to East LA, I think, but me and my sister were like, nah, we don't wanna leave. We don't wanna leave right here. Like, we're gonna live, like, we wanna keep going to the same elementary and all that shit, you know? So we moved to Union and 22nd. The kids, we used to chill allá in Estrella in the park. We used to play football with the older homies. When we were kids, they used to play with us.
No, y ya que you got in the hood, ya official, ya what were some of the spots?
Yeah, official, pues on the weekends it was like every clique was had their own spots, you know. Pero like Monday through Friday type of shit, había una liquor store que se llamaba Hope's Liquor. That was the spot, esa madre. It wasn't just a liquor, it was like a pawn shop, it was like a fucking hotel, it was the spot, the crack spot. So it was like everything right there. Ahí llegaban, you know, todos los crackers with all the, you know, all the new shit back then, you know, camcorders, Walkmans, you know, older homies llegaban, like the homies will mostly come with gold rings and necklaces and, you know, gold shit. Ya los bases, esos güeyes, les podías encargar, you know, hey, I need, you know, I need a TV or I need this. And they'll come right back like the same day or the next day, like, hey, I already got it. So, yeah, so the liquor store, definitely, that was like for me, that was like the spot, like, you know, like, just like crack out of that motherfucker. But, yeah, like I said, it was more, and then it was the spot in the hood, cause the homies used to go there. So that was like the main spot I used to chill. Pero besides that, on the weekends, pues yeah, we would chill on 20th, on 25th, 39, on Juliet, you know. But yeah, like during the week, that was like the thing.
¿Y cuáles otras like come up spots did you have right there in the hood or outside the hood?
Well, back then we used to fucking go car thieving, that's what we used to call it. Like, we used to go to the raves or the undergrounds or to clubs. Well, first we started raves and undergrounds because they were illegal, so it was cool in a way because we didn't have to worry about the cops too much because the raves and the undergrounds were illegal. We just had to worry about fools catching us in the car, if anything. But it used to be in downtown and in warehouses or in the desert, shit like that. It was, you know, it was illegal. So that's where we used to go. Come up on stereos. You know, the homies needed a car, we'll take the whole car. Or if a homie needed some parts, fuck it, we'll take the whole car just for the parts. That was one of my little hustles back then.
That's a long time ago, yeah. It's like we were, they had broken into a liquor store in the corner, so the alarm was going off. We were kids, you know what I mean? And so we go in there, and in the liquor store. It was already broken into, so we go in there, we take a gang of shit, like caja de dulce, de cigarro, puro pinche, you know, just like little kid shit, you know what I mean? We're like, what, 13 years old, 12, you know what I mean? And so we're walking down the street, and one of the homies, older homies, he seen us, and he goes, hey, fuck you guys doing over there, man? Come here. And he kind of punked us, you know what I mean? He took a fucking big ass box of fucking candy from us. Like, órale puto, you know? Fuck you, we're all pissed. So we leave, we took off in the car and shit and went to the park. We left everything. We said, you know what? Let's go fuck that fool up, eh? We go back, right? We go back, we put everything away, we go back, and we're rolling on the street, and we see him, and we see the fucking pad, and we're going, and the fucking Judas have him handcuffed like that behind the car, and they have the box of the candy on top of the trunk. So like, oh, they got this bullshit. I think he did time for that. I talked to him afterwards, and I told him
commercial burglary and shit.
Oh my gosh! So I told him, "What's up, fool? Remember that time? Like, hey, puto, I did time for that." I told him like, "Hey, you shouldn't have took the candy, fool. Like, that's your bad, eh? That's not mine." Andamos fucking robando todo el pinche. remember the first time the homies took me out the route on the corner of 24th and Vermont with that yellow bar. It was right there.
Right on the corner.
It used to be there. It's not there anymore.
Yeah. ¿Cómo se llama esa madre?
Which one?
The yellow
one in the
one.
corner.
The one
the
that was
homies they got ran over by the bus and they crashed that. The one bar right
Yeah,
on the
that was
corner.
the bar right in the corner. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of it too, but
Yeah, they had Pac-Man right there.
yeah. Nos estábamos
Yeah,
a jugar las
video games,
video games. So the homies took me, and we're deciding who's gonna grab this fool, you know. And these fools are older than me, you know what I mean? So they made me grab them. You know, and I'm like, fuck it, I'll grab them. You know, I'm a morro, eh? That's the first time we went. That's the first robbery I ever did. I think I remember it. I fucking jumped the dude, and he was, you know, I had to jump to grab him. You know what I mean? That's how big it was. You know, bigger than me. I had to jump and I pulled him down, like just grab him with the knife, like. And then the homies went through his pockets and this and that, and fucking let's go. And fucking I dropped him. He ran. I remember we got like $600 that day.
Damn.
From him.
600 plus
Exactly,
Back
dog.
then.
600, man. After that one time, every fucking weekend, let's go, man. Let's go every weekend. And that was the thing to do. I mean, okay, you get some money.
You get addicted to that
you
shit.
You get addicted, la feria, you know.
Y los homies también 211. That was the main shit.
211. Yeah, I got our pinches primos. You know what I mean? They had me fucking smoking primos and shit. So yeah. Back then
in the 80s, how was
they didn't really fuck with us really, eh? Like a whole lot. They didn't really fuck with us. It was just like I mean, they would pass by, whatever. A mí me levantaron una vez en el parque con unos undercovers and now vendiendo yo mota. I had weed. So they caught me and they took me to the Southwest. And fucking, I'm like, fuck, you know, man, I'm gonna get a case or whatever. Well, I'm juvenile. I'm still a juvenile. So they tell me, if you sing happy birthday to this fucking officer, we'll let you go. It's his birthday. That cake. So I was like, happy birthday.
Damn. Nah, you say happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Hell yeah, I'm going home, man. And I was a kid, you know what I mean? So yeah, they let me go right there. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm on King Boulevard, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I said, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean?
That was a mission,
And what's up with the LAPD?
Crooked than a motherfucker. They're corrupt, they're dirty, you know, they're scandalous. All that shit in one. You know, they'll put cases on fools. When I'll be in the county, I know everybody says they're innocent, you know, they're not guilty, but sometimes you believe fools because you kind of tell, like, you know, them fools be saying, man, them fools put dope on me or they put a gun on me. Or they go to court and they lie their ass off, you know, all that shit. In my case, they put a kidnap robbery case on me, and I wasn't even around in the United States. So I had to fight that shit, and
What were they trying to give you?
75 to life for that, for some shit I didn't even do. But they wanted to convict me no matter what, even though the victim was saying it wasn't me. You know, I had a lot of action. I knew what date it was, so I figured it, you know, down the line I put 2 and 2 together, and I was like, man, what the hell? It wasn't me. But I got a few homies that also got, you know, they were crooked cops that, you know, they went to their trials, and they made the homies look like the worst of the worst of the worst, you know. So LAPD, yeah, they're crooked as hell, corrupt and motherfucker. Even in the Rampart days, I was with the second dude that got out from the Rampart case, and he used to say this. He said the whole thing that Perez, you know, used to go extort him for money every week, so he could sell crack in his hood. And I guess when this fool didn't like want to pay him no more, they put a dope case on him. That was his third strike, so he was fighting life. He got convicted, but not life. And then I got out of county, and like a few months later, that's when they started like releasing the first fools from that Rampart case, and yeah, he was the second dude out. Like, man, that fool was alive.
The history that I know is a car club. It started as a car club, yeah. And I heard that from an old homie named Wino. He was part of the people who started the neighborhood. He But yeah, I came from actually a car club, but I don't know.
When you got there, ¿quién había allá?
Había los homies ahí, estaban los chicos malos empezamos nosotros, 27th Street, I remember that. So the clique that was right there was Quinta. I remember Quinta. It was 25th. I remember we used to hang out right there. My carnalas were from the neighborhood, so they used to take me when I was a kid.
To 25th.
To 25th. And we used to go to Hoover Park. So allá andábamos en el barrio, you know what I mean? Con todos los older homies and shit, so.
Yo miro todas las old teenagers y luego se mira CHS, chicos. With the old school homies names.
Yeah.
Pero chicos malos that's the new shit,
yeah.
the new clique,
27th Street, yeah.
Los chicos, ¿dónde estaban los veteranos? Where were they at?
Well, it's probably right there on 25th, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. On Juliet, I remember Juliet también, there was homies in Juliet Street. That was a clique right there, on Juliet Street. Yeah, pero yo estaba morro, you know what I mean? Yo no sabía de las picas, de que era, yo nomás sabía que era el barrio, you know what I mean? Allá andaba en el pinche barrio.
Una pinche childhood memory que te acuerdas del barrio.
Back in the days, we used to just go at it with fools. Like, there was no really like shootings and stuff, you know what I mean? We used to actually get down with fools, and we used to, you know what I mean, stab each other and fight each other. I mean, they used to come to the park. I remember the Easy Riders, and they used to come to the park in the back, and us used to go head up and get down, you know what I mean? We used to get down. You don't really hear too many people getting shot. You hear people getting stabbed, you know what I mean? Stabbed and jumped and stomped on, you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, shit changed, you know? Shit changed a lot.
I was a kid, and I remember I had my first gun. When I got into the hood, I already had a gun. I found it when I used to go jacking to the raves and the parties. I found me a nice little gun. And fucking crash unit would come every now and then. And it was on 20th. So I had to run to get away from the cops, I had to run the freeway, you know, like, and I had them, you know, when I used to fucking tag, I used to do that when I was a kid, running, you know, right on the freeway, in the middle of the freeway. So I would run from 20th Street all the way to 21st, like through the freeway, till, you know, the chopper left and all that shit, and go back to see where the homies were at. That shit used to be
One time we were right there on 20th, we got raided, and everybody was trying to run across the freeway. Yeah, un homie, he got hit in every lane. So estaba en un body cast. Me acuerdo, güey.
On the 28th?
On 20th.
On 20th? Through the parking lot?
That little parking lot. Okay, pues por ahí. In the first lane, no, the second lane he got hit. He got hit in the next lane.
I used to hate that shit because motherfucker have brand new Cortez or something, and you get them all fucked up right there. So you'd be like, you know, you did a little hustle or something for during the week to buy you some new kicks. Pinches cars will come, and you had to hit fences and yards and run through the fucking bushes, and so your shoes were all fucked up the next day. Like, fuck. I used to hate that shit.
Yeah.
Los homies traían las jainas de Hawthorne. Como gabachas, you know what I mean? You know?
Pero estaban cholas, eran cholas.
Cholías, son bonitas, unas bonitas de eso. I had a crush on a couple and shit, but entonces traía a sus amigas. And all the homies fuck around with them hasta en el pinche baño y en el parque and shit, you know what I'm saying? So fumamos Sherm, we used to get on fucking...
Oh, that's the days when everybody used to smoke Sherm, ¿verdad?
Yeah, so I was a kid, and this is the first time I ever kind of drove a car. Yo vivía para acá, so I needed a ride. And they were coming this way, and they had a car, and they was like, I was like, give me a ride, can I get a ride? He goes, yeah. So I jumped in the car, and it was the three Hainas from Hawthorne, and one of the Hainas said, why don't you let the homie drive? You know? I'm like, oh shit, I ain't never drove a car, you know what I mean? It's like, fuck, yeah, so you want to drive it? I didn't want to seem like, you know? I'm like, Simon, yeah, fuck it, I'll drive. So I jump in the car, and I'm driving and shit. It's like, oh shit. It was a glass house, a big ass glass house.
Yeah, like a big ass one.
Fuck. So I'm like, you know, apenas miro, yo está bien morro, you know? Yeah, I'm chinga, vamos, and I jump on the freeway, get there faster. All right, Simon, all right, I go on the freeway, and I was jumping in the freeway. You know how the freeway is a turn, you know, right? So as soon as I hit the turn, like, I'm gone. And like, you know what you're doing? Like, yeah, me acomodé, you know?
Yeah, I got this.
Anyway, la hice, I made it to the pad. I'm like, my heart, you know, my mind, I'm like, fuck, I hope I make it to the fucking house. And I made it. So they dropped me off, and I'm all fucking excited. Like, fuck, I drove. Los años se fueron. So the next week, next week I see him again, you know. They come to the hood every weekend. Simon, the next weekend I see him again, and I'm like, hey, what's up with the car? Let me, you know what I mean? Can I drive? And I kind of said, Mina, they look at each other. What car is that? Boy, that was that stolen car we had last week. Them bitches let me drive a G-Ride. Fucking drive. That's why they let me drive. Eh?
Damn.
Take all the blade.
Yeah, they fucking let me drive because it was a stolen fucking car. Okay?
Hey, and back then, no había cruising. What was cruising?
Yeah, se van para Whittier, eh? Se van para Whittier, los homies. I went a couple of times, eh, with my sisters. I remember that. It was cool.
And the homies, they had cars like that?
Yeah, the homies had cars, and my family had cars too. A lot of my tios and shit, they had bombs.
Ellos eran del barrio, ¿verdad?
¿Te acuerdas?
Se juntaban, los conocían a los homies y todo,
Yeah.
pero no eran del barrio, you know what I mean? O un primo, se me hace que le decían zombis, decía que era del barrio, you know what I mean? And then we had another primo flaco, I don't know, you know, Rodrigo, he got stabbed, he got killed out there by Hoover, by Pit Boys.
Yeah, yeah.
He was at the capo, you know what I mean? And yeah, so we used to have parties, y se venían todos los tíos de Tijuana, de San Diego, and the whole fucking 22nd Street, huh?
22nd was everybody will come out just to see that.
Yeah, a bunch of fucking.
Oh, in the dead end?
Yeah,
Oh,
the
okay.
dead end.
Yeah, I guess
Tenía que entrar por la 22nd, so salía toda la pinche gente para mirarme.
Yeah, it was cool.
That's
Yeah.
always been a low-key street. I've always liked that street. Todos los homies se parqueaban a fumar primos en esa, because it was just like...
And that was my tia's pad right there, so I actually
Yeah.
love going over there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like parties and shit. Watch out, I was at a party with my carnala, right there fucking on 30th, where Big Capone lived in Hill. Well, I was in their house. I was a kid. I don't know, about 10, 11, eh? But andaba con mis carnalas, y that was the first time I seen somebody get killed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were in the back, and there was a party going on, and you hear the fucking cuetazos, ta 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 ta, and I go in the front, you know what I mean? I left. I was like trying to, be chismoso and shit, so I go outside, and there was a dude in the ground, eh? Estaba cueteado, eh? I seen the guy, eh? I remember that's the first time I seen somebody die.
Yeah.
Somebody fucking shot him, knots in his head, like, gosh away. Paramedics came and passed away. That
So
was
the enemies came through and got...
It was hectic, I could say that much. It was like strongest will survive, I guess. They'll come, we'll go back. Well, in a way, sometimes it was like a game too. Like when I was young, 'cause I got in the hood when I was like officially like 14 and a half or 15. So to me, it was more like, I don't know, it was different times. Like it was like, I wouldn't say fun, but I guess it was kind of fun. Like you wouldn't think of it like how you think now. Like, damn, motherfucker, going back and forth, shooting fools up, fools come by and shoot up, and just get up, dust it off, and keep pushing. That's it. But it was part of the life back then. That's how it was. It was just normal, I guess you could say.
And like, what do you think the enemies thought about the hood? Like, when they think about, like, what's up with them fools from Harpies?
Well, I know all the enemies around the hood that surrounded us. They all used to hate us. So. I don't know. Not because I'm from the hood. I just think Harpies, I don't know. We had like a different vibe. We had our own style. The homies used to dress G'd up, nice little cool cars, good looking girls. So I think that's why sometimes enemies used to kind of probably hate. Like, they didn't like that shit too. Like, we'll stand out from other gangs around that time.
And what's up with the hit-ups? Like,
Oh man, the head-ups, it was cool. I used to like writing a lot in the walls. I wouldn't do like English or blocks. I didn't really know how to do it, but I'll team up with a homie that probably knew how to do blocks, and I'll look out. But me personally, I just used to write. If we couldn't find motherfuckers, I would just go to their block and cross them out and post up, or keep creeping a day or two till they cross us out and try to catch somebody slipping. But writing on the walls was my thing.
have you ever had any close calls where they almost got you in the hood, slipping?
Yeah, a lot. I'm pretty sure all the homies did. At least if you were active in the liquor store a gang of times. You know, motherfucker. Enemies knew that the homies would go there, like, you know, to buy, especially in the weekends, you know. So in the liquor store, they shot the liquor store up a lot of times. They shot 3-4 homies I remember out there, and motherfuckers would pass through dumping. Or when we used to go cruising, you know, to Hollywood or Whittier, wherever we went, it was like, it was on. I don't know, this was just like that. Wherever we went, it was on.
But yeah, like when in 91, 92 and shit, cuando estaba torcido, es lo que también, cuando llegó el pinche the news, because Crow was right there with me.
I remember Crow, yeah.
Eric Stain.
That was a homie right there.
Yeah, he had just sent me a chain, with my sister. I was in YA, you know, he was with me in YA. He got out. He came home. Oh, I remember he came home and he called me. He gave me a pass to go to the laundry room, and I went to the laundry to the front. He was talking to me. It was like 92. I had like 3 more years left. I'd already been locked up, you know what I mean? So, but he tells me, hey, fool, you want to go? I got the homie right here with the homie from 38. We gotta wait for you to get out, fool, like, to the laundry in un carrito, you know what I mean? Like, we already got it set up. I'll wait for you outside or whatever. And I'm like, la pensé, you know, and I'm like, I got 3 years left, fool, like, yeah, you know? I've been down. I mean, if I go right, I mean, you know,
still come back. You're gonna owe those 3 years and a new charge.
Exactly. You know what I mean? That might fuck around because I was able to get refiled on.
Right there, huh?
Refiled on. They could have took me back to court and give me an M number because I was a swing case. So there was still possibility that they could send me to court, petition me, and fucking give me an M number and still give me that fucking that L.
17 to life.
So I was like, nah, I'm getting out 3 years, man. I'm cool. I mean, I mean, you know what I mean? Nobody wanted to get down with me no more. You know, by that time, I had already fucking got down with all these fools, and you know what I mean? I got 3 years left. I'm working in the kitchen, man. I'm straight. Like, nah, fool, like, yeah, gracias, I'm cool. I'm not gonna, if I run now, I'm gonna have to fucking run forever, man.
Yeah.
So fucking, yeah, and about what? It was about, fuck, a few months, 6 months, Me mandó una chain primero con mi canala. And then I fucking got the news, He fucking killed him,
You knew
Sleepy.
¿Cómo se llama el otro? Sleepy era el otro. Together,
I used to go to Full Shade with Sleepy,
That fool was with it.
Yeah, I used to go to Full Shade.
Me acuerdo que una vez ese güey Sleepy, era de Fifth Ave, ¿verdad?
Yeah.
Ese güey traía un baby stroller with no baby in it. That shit had a Tech 9 in it. Andaba en el barrio, güey. Andaba con esa madre. You really thought that was fool, you know, fool, you roll with your kids, you know? Ese güey traía esa madre y no había no baby inside, güey. Traía esa madre adentro. And those were like those were, I don't know what year that was, not maybe 92, 93, pero estaba bien active esos days. It was, when did he die?
That time, but 92, man.
He died in like around those yeah. I remember
when they killed him, man.
I remember when that happened.
Him and Crow, dude. I mean, that shit just fucking hit home when I heard the news and I was locked up.
Yeah, that was a good homie, Crow.
Sí, pinche Crow, te ven la casa, pinche Crow. Yeah.
Who as fuck?
He was
Down as fool.
He's from Belize. Era Belize in this way.
Yeah, that fool down as.
Yeah. Se iba a la pinche Manual Arts.
Se iba a la Manual Arts.
Y 50 unas veces iba y los noqueaba los güeyes. Pum, pum,
ese güey iba. He used to go to Manual Arts to walk with the homies que salían de ahí. Porque
sí.
No siempre había carrilla ahí, güey.
Sí.
Ese güey iba a noquear güeyes ahí, güey.
Yeah. I remember since I was a kid.
Back up the homies.
Crazy.
You go and protect the homies.
Cuando estaba morro yo, me llevaba mi carnal al barrio y me caía gordo ese güey. Porque siempre he used to always fuck with me. I was a kid. Like, in the hood, boom, 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 boom. Me metía putazos de güey, yo bien morro ahí.
Take care. Be safe. I'll get with you tomorrow.